everyone, welcome to this week's episode of The Dex. I'm PokeKellz.
And I'm TheNationalDex. Every week on The Dex we cover trivia and battle strategy for a different Pokemon. This week wait, Kells! You vanished at the end of last episode!
Yeah, but the rules are different here. I spent a couple weeks in a cocoon and now I am back and ready to go.
Well, that couldn't sound more disturbing, but hey, speaking of cocoons, we're doing Volcarona this week.
I'm a clone! Volcarona is the sun Pokemon, just like Espeon and Sunflora. Its name is a combination of volcano and corona, which means crown in Spanish.
Here, of course, Corona is also probably referring to the halo effect visible around the sun, which is caused by an exceedingly hot layer of plasma burning off of its surface.
You know how when you draw a sun and you draw all those little lines coming out of it? That's the corona. It's best seen during a solar eclipse, but it is always there.
Volcarona's connection to the sun doesn't end there either. According to his Pokedex entries, Volcarona can burn so brightly that he's actually able to replace the sun when there's too much cloud coverage or ash in the air.
In fact, he was first discovered during an incredibly cold winter when he appeared and saved a bunch of other Pokemon from freezing. He's so noble.
Yep, and even his wings are a sun reference. The dark spots on them represent sunspots, which are cold patches on the sun's surface caused by intense magnetic activity. So you're a clone, huh?
Maybe. I don't really know.
I guess I'll just have to let it slide. All this talk of Coronas makes me feel like I need a stiff drink.
Hey, don't give up yet. I've got a new and ridiculous segment to show you.
What is it? You just gonna show us Volcaronas like a moth or something?
So? So obviously, Volcarona's design is based off of a moth. Actually, he's got pretty similar coloring to Mothra, which is the moth monster from Godzilla.
In fact, more specifically, he's based off the Atlas moth, which is upsettingly huge and the same color as fire.
Speaking of fire, have you ever heard of the old adage, like a moth to the flame?
Yeah, it means like to be drawn to something, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. But I have a question. What is it about flame that moths like so much? Turns out, there's this sciencey thing called Phototaxis, which is movement in response to a light-based stimulus.
Some creatures have negative Phototaxis, which causes them to move away from light, but moths have positive Phototaxis, meaning they're drawn to it.
The weird thing about it, though, is that it has no purpose. They just come out of their cocoons and without even putting forth any effort, they just begin doing the thing that nature made for them to do. Kind of like me in this week's episode of The Dex.
Huh. But don't you think that last bit seems a little bit creepy, though?
What do you mean?
You know how we have no other purpose than to be here in this internet limbo, making this show while there's some higher power that's cloning us out of cocoons?
Pokemon rules!
On to battle strategy. Volcarona is a great OU sweeper. He's a little brittle, but has access to a bunch of great moves, and he's an asset to any team. To get started, train up a modest one and EV train it in special attack and speed.
Because of this brittleness and the likelihood of extra damage dealt by his crippling weakness to Stealth Rock, Quiver Dance is a great move for the first slot.
Quiver Dance boosts special attack and special defense as well as speed. It's the perfect setup move. Plus, his ability Flame Body burns you a third of the time you physically touch him, so it's easy to use.
From there, throw coverage moves on him like Bug Buzz, which has the chance to lower your opponent's special defense, and Giga Drain, which heals you.
In the last slot, use Volcarona's signature move, Fiery Dance. It's a fairly powerful stab move, but it also has a 50% chance of boosting Volcarona's special attack even higher every time you use it.
And oh yeah, for his hold item, it's gotta be the Life Orb. We're talking attack boosts for days.
Right. Of course, that's not the only way to train a Volcarona, so as always, here are a few random thoughts.
Resting with a Chesto Berry to instantly wake you up is a great way to bounce back from the hits you'll probably have to take when setting up Quiver Dance.
I'm still weirded out that you're a clone. That's a tough thing for me to stomach. Another healing option is Leftovers paired with Roost.
So what if I'm a clone? You've died like 6 times, you didn't even remember. Hurricane is a great counter move for surprising rain dance teams. And that's it, Volcarona, the sun Pokemon. What's wrong?
I'm a clone too?
Yeah, well, technically you're a clone of a clone of a clone of a clone of a clone. But really, who's counting?
I guess you're right. I mean, it's not like we're ever gonna get out of here anyway.
If you like what you see, make sure to subscribe and leave a comment below on what Pokemon you'd like to see next. I'm PokeKellz.
And I'm TheNationalDex. Tune in next week for another episode of
The Dex. Hurricane is a great counter for a praising rain. This rain is $3. This piece is $1.
Here, of course, Corona also is probably...
I'm so sorry, I don't know what happened. Stop!
Oh, and I farted. So this is a great take.
Single one!